After my personal struggle with food left me sick and suicidal, I was struck with the realization that food alone can't fix us. So I set out to discover what could, and what I found changed everything. After coaching thousands of clients and interviewing the world's leading experts, I realized it was time to start a bigger conversation. What are you really hungry for?
It's great.
Ooh, good one.
What am I really hungry for?
I love that question.
It's time to discover what you're really hungry for. This episode is brought to you by the Institute of Transformational Nutrition. ITN offers the first and only personalized nutrition certification program that's backed by science and proven to get clients actual results and coaches actual income. If you're ready to be proud of what you do, feel like you matter, make a difference in someone's life, and actually get paid for it, then visit transformationalnutrition.com to take your first class toward your certification for free. Have you ever felt invisible? Like you could just walk into a room with a clown suit on and start singing the blues and people still wouldn't notice you? Feeling invisible is one of the most common complaints that I hear from women. As a whole, women feel like they aren't seen, like they don't matter, as though they're not heard. People may look right through them at the store, in their neighborhoods, or even in their own homes. They get spoken over, drowned out, and they're taught to hide their light because no one sees it anyway. And this lesson sinks deep down into their core. When you start to feel invisible, you start to play everything down. You stop speaking up, you stop voicing your opinions, you stop wearing that red dress that makes you feel so fabulous. You become a shell of what you once were because you begin to believe that you don't matter. But you do matter. You matter so much. When you feel invisible, your sparkle starts to slowly fade. You start to laugh at jokes that really aren't funny. You tone down your personality to make other people feel more comfortable. And you start to almost feel okay with being invisible. Because being invisible means tucked away in the safety from the world. And no one will hurt you if they can't see you. Being invisible is a vicious cycle. First, we feel invisible because of how society treats us, and we start to hide from our traumatic events. And then we start to feel more comfortable in the shadows. We start to feel vulnerable when we are fully seen by others, because when people can see us, then they can judge us. And being judged can be very scary when you've been judging yourself so harshly for so long. If you weren't judging yourself harshly, you wouldn't have squashed yourself down to fit in that little tiny box to make other people around you feel more comfortable. But there is a solution. It comes from being you and silencing those critical voices that tell you not to speak up and not to show up. When you stop agreeing to be invisible and you start pushing against things, things start to change. You speak up. You choose what really lights you up. You stop doing things because you feel like it's expected, and you do only what delights you. If your friends don't like it, you find new friends. If it makes people uncomfortable, you just shrug it off, and you know that if they don't accept you for you, then they aren't the people that you want in your life. You create deeper intimacy and connection with people because you're finally showing up as who you really are instead of who you think that people want you to be. To transform your life, you need to start getting comfortable with feeling visible, because if people reject you for who you really are, that's okay. It just opens up greater opportunities for you to connect with the people who are truly meant to be in your life. Those who can not only handle you, but bring out the best in you. Today's guest, Dr. Kellyann Petrucci, is a board-certified naturopathic physician. She helps women understand that they are not invisible. And today, she's here to help you understand that as well. Kellyann, thank you so much for being here. I love and respect you and what you do so much. You know, one of the reasons why I think I love you so much? You see me.
I do. You know what?
Yeah.
I take the time. This is something that you cultivate being a practitioner, being in the trenches, so to speak. You sit across from people and you learn to really give yourself, that's probably the biggest gift anyone can give anyone, is to really be present when somebody is sitting in front of you. And I always make it a point to make that connection,
Yeah.
to really see people. It only takes a minute to really take a deep dive,
Yeah.
look at someone and figure out what it is that they need to feel safe, to feel loved, and to feel important. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for.
It's all we're looking for.
It's a gift that we can all cultivate. And here's the thing, so many gifts that people have, we think, can we attain them? And I'm
Right.
here to say, all it takes is for you to stop, look, listen, just stop. And just connect, like literally visibly see yourself.
Yeah.
Drawing a connection to that person, and stop and hear what it is they're trying to say. Hear what it is they're trying to
Yes.
say. Take the time,
Yeah.
make that important in your life.
Connection with people who are authentic and see me and care for me, that's the connection I'm really hungry for. Like, that's one of the things that I'm looking for right now, and finding in a really beautiful way. And people
Yes.
such as yourself. And for so long, like, I love this topic of being invisible. For me, growing up, I felt very invisible. And, continuing on up, until just recent years. And sometimes I still feel invisible, but it's definitely one of my triggers because, like you, I feel like people really do just want to be seen, heard, and feel like they matter. Like,
It's so true.
right?
If there's something that you're dealing with, I'm feeling invisible, lay it out. Lay it out, look at it.
What do you mean lay it out? How do I lay it out? and
You
look at it?
you have to literally put it down on a piece of paper.
Write it down.
Write it down, address it.
Okay.
This is how things become real. We have to take things from our imagination, from our mind, and we have to create a reality. And you do that by writing it down and saying, this is what's going on with me.
Yeah.
This is how I feel about it. And then you reaffirm
Yes.
what it is that you want and who you want to be. And my gosh, as sure as I'm sitting here, it will happen.
Is it really that simple, Kellyann? Because, I feel like I've struggled with this for so long. And I was telling you this before the show. So I remember so clearly this happening to me. I went out to dinner with some friends and, we're having conversation and we're talking about whatever. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Yeah.
But we're talking and I'm contributing. At least I think I'm contributing. And I'm telling you, I am saying things and it's like, no one even heard them. No one acknowledged me.
It's so typical that women feel this way.
That every woman feels this way.
But think about the genetics again. Let's go back to how we're programmed.
Okay.
We're programmed for safe, loved, and important. So do you think then that every person at that table is striving for the same thing?
Absolutely.
Everybody, it's like a battle.
And if that's the case, and that's true, then why would we not want to have other people feel that too? Why would we not want to nurture that in other people? Why can I sit at that table and say these things and have no one respond? And I literally said at this table, am I not here? Can you guys not hear me?
did.
Like,
I
I
know you
literally
did.
said, but it's just like, if that's in all of us and that's what we want, why would we take that away from someone else? Why wouldn't we nurture that in each other?
Because this is a skill set to understand. This is a belief system. Are you someone that lifts and elevates? I can tell you, my whole purpose is to make sure that everyone that's sitting with me feels better when they stand up. I'm a barber's daughter. My father was a barber, and I have to tell you, I used to go, I was the 4 children, I was the yapper. Okay, so my mom shipped me out. I was the one that got shipped out to go with my dad at work, right? Question. And it really struck me, even at 7, everyone that gets up from my father's chair feels better. He was a lifter. He was an elevator. He was someone who built bridges and didn't break them. So here's what you have to know. To not think about it like a Jew, I'm not being heard. No, understand the battle. This is the human battle. Everyone wants to feel safe, loved, and important.
Yeah.
We're all striving for that at every waking moment. So if you're at a table and you feel like you're not being heard, it's not that you don't have value. It's not that you don't have something to say that's important and that
That's
can
what
be
I
compelling.
feel. And then I become
Right.
the victim, So
Right.
that's in me, though.
So in that moment, I want everyone to just silence themselves for 1 minute and get the mental strength, the mental control that you need to have. And I want you to say,
How do I do
what are
that,
the primal
mental
laws?
control, because
Ask yourself, be present
Okay.
and just quiet for 1 minute. So it's like the Titanic. Remember the movie Titanic when she was looking at everybody at dinner and she said, whoa, what's happening to my life? And she ran to the ship and she was going to jump. Like that moment, you're in that moment. You feel crazy. Like I just stop and just say, primal laws. Just literally say the word. I understand what's happening. This is primal laws. I am valuable, but this is the battle, the human battle, literally the human battle that everyone at that table wants to feel safe, loved, and important. And make a note to yourself. I'm going to be a lifter. I'm going to be an elevator. I'm going to make sure that people around me are heard. Because, you know, I'm a yapper.
Yeah.
I got that Italian thing. We both know that. Yap, 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 yap. And I love to yap and I love to talk, but it's important. It's important to say, if I am someone who's going to elevate others, if that's something that's important to me, then I know that I need to connect, that I need to have that connection. And again, I understand this primal law so very well that it helps me understand where people are coming from. And when you understand where other people are coming from, there you go, there's that connection again. You feel more connected and you feel less invisible. And another thing, in order to feel not invisible, in order to feel visible, you have to feel good about the way you look and feel.
Feeling good.
Feeling good
how
about
you
yourself.
look. Like,
So-
because that, I mean, Kellyann, come on. Like, we live in this world, you said it yourself, celebrities and movie stars, and there's this idea of perfection that's created in the media, and the rest of us are just trying to keep up.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying? So to say, like, you just got to feel good about yourself and your body, to not feeling like, how?
We're
How do I do
beautifully
that?
imperfect. We are
great.
beautifully
It's great.
imperfect. I look for different things in people, and again, this is trained. I really look to see the value system that somebody has. I see if I'm aligned with people. I look at things, I look at beauty in a very different way. I look to see how people treat other people. You know, we flip through magazines and we see these images, and we see this perfection. The most important thing that people need to know is that they're not real. So much of what we see is an illusion. It's like the Matrix. Which pill are you going to swallow here? Really, it's an illusion. Understand that.
But don't you feel like some people do understand that? I mean, come on. We've had so many celebrities say, look, I don't want to be photoshopped. This isn't me. They photoshopped me. We've had celebrities say that, right? And yet we still have women all over the globe who see this and they somehow do see it as real. Or maybe they don't think it's real, but maybe it's what they would like to be real. It's what
Who
they
doesn't
would
want
like
to be gorgeous?
Yeah.
Who doesn't? We all want to be sexy. We all want to be beautiful. We all want to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
But let's just do it as thoughtfully as we can and mindfully as we can without getting crazy. That's my only point.
Don't get crazy.
I'm going down with the ship. Okay, what you see is what you get. I'm only going to go so far. But really understanding deep down, we all know the truth. You see, deep down we know the truth, and we know that we're not perfect. We know it deep down. I mean, what I had to go through to look like this today.
It took me a minute to look like this.
Takes 10 minutes. So, see, we all know that. So let's just, let's lay it out on the table. And one of the things that I think we have to know, beyond even the emotional, is that with every decade, with every stage, with every ebb and flow of our life, there's different things that you need to know to help you look better as you progress. So really feeling good about the way you look in a natural way, but not a crazy way. See, here's the thing, just by healthy, vibrant, effervescent, there's a big difference between trying to change yourself so much outwardly and not feeling good to really just nourishing ourselves in a way that we feel healthy and that we feel well. It's a very different,
I love that you're redefining healthy as, it's not a number or a size. It's really something bigger. It's a feeling. It's you living. It's that, having life.
It's bigger. I love that you said that. That is such an important component. It's bigger than that. It really is.
Right.
So what makes you happy? What really makes you happy? Think about that.
You know what? Can I just tell you something? I think that's a great question. And I think this ties in so beautifully to feeling invisible. Because you know what I've seen happen when we feel like we're invisible? We try to become visible. We try to be who other people want us to be.
Cynthia, that's incredible.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's yes. See, it's that overstepping again because you're trying so hard. So you
Yeah,
try too
yeah.
hard to be visible.
Right.
And maybe you take just a offbeat path a little bit. You know, maybe that's a really interesting point.
Well, yeah, because the whole thing is, we think, okay, well, I'm not being seen like this, so I need to change, or at least if I don't believe it, I need to say that I believe that, this idea or that idea, or I should have a different personality. We try to be seen by changing who we are, right? The problem with that is we get so caught up in trying to be who we think they want us to be that we forget who we are. So when you say come back to what makes you happy, like I remember working with this client, Kellyann, she was in her early 50s, and I asked her that question, what is it? Like, what if you could do tomorrow anything? Money is not an issue. You can go, you can be, just what is it that makes you happy? And she thought for a minute, and then she just started sobbing. And she looked at me with these tears in her eyes and said, I have no idea. I have no idea. Because she had been the mother, the wife. She'd been all of these things to everyone else so that she could be seen. She had no idea who she was. So when you say be happy, what if I don't know?
You have to just go find out.
How?
What is that movie
How do I
with
do
Julia
that?
Roberts where she made all those omelets?
Oh, right.
When she was trying, she was, death. She
Yes.
just, you have to realize that we are humans of purpose. We need to find purpose to feel alive. And so many people, they get involved in relationships, or they get involved in encounters or jobs or whatever it is, where we start straying from that purpose. And I want everyone to really make notice of this.
Yeah.
Make notice of this in your life moving forward. With every step away from purpose, I promise you, you're going to feel a little bit more flat. So really, the trick here is, what excites you beyond measure? What excites you? And then you live in that purpose. And it's not always easy. But guess what? The easiest paths are not always the ones that make you the happiest.
That's so true.
They're not.
That's so true.
How do you feel when you go to bed at night? Do you feel, is your mind chirping and saying, do you feel good? And again, that kick in your step, all of that matters.
No, it is hard, and here's can I just tell you another thing, like something just came up. It's like, okay, live on purpose, and I very much feel like I'm living on purpose. I know that I was born to do this right here, right now with you. Like this I am just in flow. And it's hard at the same time, because for someone who has always felt invisible, and it's not just me, we all feel invisible, to find our purpose, what if that then means that we have to step out and we have to be seen, and we have to show up and execute that purpose? For someone who has felt invisible and thought they were invisible, where does that courage come from? Because it terrifies me every single day, and I'll be really honest about that.
Every single day, sitting here, driving here, where am I? Like the whole thing, like everywhere you go, you travel all over, and it never gets easier. Fortune favors the bold. It does. Fortune favors the bold. It just does. And I don't mean fortune, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking again about that feeling of peace, that feeling of happiness. Sometimes you just gotta get up and you just have to do it. I mean,
Sometimes
is how
I don't
physics
want
work.
to,
No,
Kellyann.
a lot of us don't. We want to pull.
So what do you do? Is there a trick that you use to get yourself up? Because I know you experience this, we all experience this, even if it's just getting up and taking, that first step. How do you get yourself up?
Self-talk. It's
self-talk.
self-talk.
Okay.
It's self-talk. It's what you tell yourself honestly. You have
Okay.
to understand how the nervous system works, and the nervous system patterns, and how you pattern your nervous system, how you train your nervous system, just like you do in the gym. And I'll tell you, getting yourself to feel good, nourishing yourself properly, and really having the self-talk will make all the difference. And if that doesn't work, go out and get yourself the most beautiful pair of shoes and strut around in those shoes. Something's going to happen.
It all gets back to the shoes. It's all about the shoes. No, but I love that. And I love that it's like you're taking baby steps. It is having that self-talk, that mindset. I love that you said that, and having that honest conversation.
That's
with
why
yourself.
the people around you are so important, because they are going to filter
that's
and
good.
feed into that self-talk.
That's
you want to be
good.
around people that are going to, again, fill you, lift, elevate. Really, you've got to, I have a couple of things. I call it your slim mindset, and I talk
Your
about this.
slim mindset.
Feeling safe, loved, important, and motivated. I call it a slim mindset. And there's certain rules that I use for myself, and I've imparted these over to patients and readers over the years. And it's things like having an inner doorman, knowing who to let in your life, because let me tell you, because real easy to let people in, not so easy to get them out. Have that inner doorman. Learn the people that you want around you. Manage your yeses. Understand you can't say yes to everything. Start taking care of yourself, because no is as powerful as yes. Don't be someone that just says yes, yes, yes to everything. Take care of yourself. Know these yes. Know when to say no. Know when to say yes. All of these things. Just really, these are mindset skills. And I know it sounds like, oh, mindset skills, but really, just remember the 6 inches between your ears. It matters big.
It's such an amazing amount of information and just wisdom. And it's in you, like you are lit up, you're on fire. And I think the tips that you've shared, from the baby steps to the mindset pieces, the slim, like all of these things I think are so crucial. And women are going to feel more visible because of you. We're going to feel more seen. We're going to feel more in touch with ourselves and each other. And you're creating a ripple effect in the world. And I just really honor you for doing that and for having the courage to do that and to own your truth.
Thank you. Again, there are days when I want to put the blanket over my head, but I have something that I want to do.
Thanks for being the example.
Thank you.
So, Kellyann, the name of the show is what you're really hungry for. So, what are you, Kellyann, as a person, as a human being, what are you really hungry for?
I'm hungry for love. I really am so hungry for love, because I love giving love. I love feeling love. And with that love, what I am so passionate about is starting a revolution. So my one word is revolution. I want to start a revolution with women so they can feel empowered, so they can feel that learn to love who you've become. Learn to love, because we go through a lot to become who we are. So I'm hungry. I'm hungry for love and revolution.
I love that. Kellyann, again, I'm just in awe of you. I am speechless, and that doesn't happen very often, trust me. But thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you for being you.
It's an honor. Thank you.
This week is all about being invisible. We discussed how you can stop hiding your light and start to really show up as who you truly are. So I invite you to choose one of Kellyan's tips that she discussed during our show and start implementing it in your life today. What one step can you take to stop feeling invisible and finally start feeling seen? As always, the conversation continues at CynthiaPasquella.com. Head on over and leave a comment below this video telling me the one thing that you will do to start to be seen today. Did you like this video? If so, please subscribe and then share it with your friends. And if you want to hear more from me, including things that I only share in email, then head on over to CynthiaPasquella.com and sign up for my email newsletter so you can become a part of this beautiful community of women who are discovering what they're really hungry for. The Institute of Transformational Nutrition offers the first and only personalized nutrition certification program that's backed by science and proven to get clients actual results and coaches actual income. If you're ready to be proud of what you do, feel like you matter, make a difference in someone's life, and actually get paid for it, then visit transformationalnutrition.com to take your first class toward your certification for free.